Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back once again. Today we're going to be taking a look at the interior for the house that we recently made, and hopefully by doing this, we can give you some ideas on what you could try for your own house. And as usual, we'll start off by taking a look at some of the additions we put onto the exterior. For this one, there's only really two things we added. One being this chimney over here to the left, which is made mostly out of cobblestone, and that one actually leads down to the kitchen. And then this one over here to the right, which I'll be honest, is probably one of my least favorite chimneys we've done so far, just kind of how it turned out on the exterior. I'm not really too proud of it, so by all means, if you can come up with a better design, please go for it. I'm kind of glad this one was actually pushed back towards the mountain, where a lot of people might not end up seeing it. But this one over here is made mainly out of bricks, besides this little top thing up here, which is a stone brick half slab. Or not stone brick half slab, it's just a stone half slab, but that one leads down to the living room. The reason I think it turned out, I guess, so poorly is because I had to end up doing a corner fireplace on the inside, which we'll get to in a moment. So for the inside of this, it almost kind of took on a bit of a cluttered look, but then again, there's kind of a trade-off, because with that, you almost get a bit more of a cozy feeling to the house. So as you see, once we walk in here, there's not really too much room to walk around. It's kind of just a 1 block wide pathway. But in the living room, I think by doing the little corner fireplace like that, it really actually freed up quite a bit of space and gave us room to put in some bookshelves and whatnot. If we wouldn't have ended up putting the fireplace in the corner, it definitely would have just taken up too much space. We probably wouldn't have been able to do these stairs here, which, as you'll see really quick, we'll head on back here and I'll explain some of that stuff in a bit. But I decided to throw the stairs back in this little corner slot, and that also freed up a lot of space as well. So dealing with these small houses, you kind of just have to do a bit of trial and error, just figuring out what should go where to kind of enable you to have the most space. But yeah, in here we have this little corner seating section. There's a lot of stuff pushed into corners, which once again frees up space. And then we filled up the walls just to make them look a little less plain. We filled those up with some bookshelves, added some plants around, some checkered rugs like this, just to kind of make it look a little more colorful. I did notice if you end up putting a carpet right here, it actually ends up catching on fire, and then it kind of spreads around the house, which is definitely a bad thing. So if you do end up putting one here, you might just want to go with something like I've done, with the little grate right there, and then sort of a little half carpet, I guess you could call it. And then some more stuff I did was just throw some stuff on the walls just to kind of make those look a lot less boring. But I think that's mostly it for the living room section. So now we'll go ahead and move on into the kitchen. So this, I just decided to throw most of the stuff over here on the back wall, especially since this window kind of allowed for some nice natural lighting. So we have this, and then I don't know what it is, but I think for every single interior we've done, I've never added a cake, or I guess it's a pie in this case, but it really does look good in this texture pack, and I think it's a nice kind of filler if you had an empty space. I tried using the little smoke texture and a few other things, like a little plate with some food on it, but none of them really looked as good as the cake or the pie does. So we'll try that again. Wait a minute, is this pumpkin pie? Can we lay that down? I don't think so, but maybe it's just for eating. So we'll throw the cake back here. You know what? I'm gonna try it. Nope, that does not work. So there's that. What else do we have? We got some frying pans and a bunch of other little kitchen materials up there, hung up on the fences. I did notice they don't really attach too well to the ceiling, so I did have to throw an extra one of those half slabs in right there. And then we also have some knives, a little prepared plate of food, and I think that's about it in here. We also have some little ingredients or recipes over here on the back wall. But now we'll go ahead and move on to the third floor. This one is probably almost the most cramped, just because there's so much stuff in here. Over here to the left, we do have the child's bed. And I just tried to make the area look a bit more colorful by throwing in this flower, or not flower, what am I thinking, this candle. This little window right here definitely adds a lot of nice natural lighting. At nighttime, it's probably going to get pretty damn dark in here, but I think during the daytime, it does have a pretty nice atmosphere. And we've got the flag just to add some more red colors. I think there's a lot of red in here, so I tried to mix that up by adding some blue carpets. And then here we have the master bed, where I guess the mom and the dad would sleep. And I think that's it for this area. And then over here, this is just kind of whoever's wants to sit here. It's their workstation or desk. So we have that and a lot of books and the treasure chest and everything. There's actually quite a few chests in here. We got the little one right there, a medium-sized one, the large one. And I guess that's it. So there's 3. Not too many, but it's still quite a bit for my builds. So I think that is it for this. Hopefully by doing this, I was able to get you guys inspired and give you some ideas for what you could try for your interior. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys have idea-wise for in the future, or maybe if you think I should change anything on this house. I would love to know your ideas for that. But yeah, thanks again for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. And as always, I will see you in the next one.